Good day, everyone. We are the Stormtroopers, and this is our official recorded performance for the lab activity titled Reported Suspected Phishing Incident. This activity simulates a real-life cybersecurity investigation.
Today, we are investigating a suspected phishing email received by Terry Joyce Waga. Phishing emails typically aim to deceive the user into clicking on a harmful link or downloading a dangerous file. The email in the question contains a suspicious URL, a file with the MD hash, and was sent from an unfamiliar domain in the session. We will analyze the three elements to determine if this is truly a phishing attempt. The tools we will be using will be the Zulu scaler and the virus total to analyze the URL, the MD5 file.com and the virus total to scan the file hash, the Cisco Talos intelligence to check the sender domain's reputation. So let's start by checking the URL using the Zulu scaler. Then you copy the URL in the log. Then analyze. As you can see, the result from Zulu Scaler shows that the URL is safe and does not contain any suspicious elements. Now to confirm this, let's also check the same URL using the virus total tool. And virus total shows that the URL is malicious and contains suspicious content. Based on these results, we can already see mixed indications. One tool flagged that the URL as malicious, while the other marked it as safe. Because of this inconsistency, we'll continue with the rest of our analysis. In cybersecurity, even a single warning should be taken seriously, so we proceed with caution.
Now let's move on to the file attachment, which we were supposed to investigate using its hash. However, in this case, the investigation cannot proceed because the required file is missing or unavailable. Since we don't have the actual file or its correct hash, we are unable to get any result from md5file.com. What is it used for? File integrity. To make to make sure a file hasn't been changed or tampered with. If even one letter in the file changes, the MD5 hash will change too. Cybersecurity. Security tools use MD5 hashes to identify known malware. If a file's MD5 hash matches one from a virus database, it's flagged as dangerous. File comparison. MD5 makes it easy to compare two files if they have the same MD5 hash. They are exactly the same. Let's verify that with VirusTotal as well. In the virus total, the result says we currently don't have any comments that fit your search. It means no one has written anything about that file or link yet. Virus total lets users like security experts or regular people leave comments to help others. But if no one has commented, you'll see that message. It does not mean the file or link is safe or dangerous. It just means no extra opinions or notes have been shared by the community.
Finally, we'll check the reputation of the sender's domain using Cisco Talos Intelligence. The result shows that no information was found for the domain. It says, unfortunately, we can't find any results for your search. This makes it harder to evaluate if the sender is trustworthy. So why does this happen? This message means that Cisco Talos has no information about the domain, the website address or email sender's domain you search. So possible reasons. The domain is very new. It was just created recently and hasn't been scanned or analyzed yet. Next one is the domain is uncommon or rarely used. It may belong to a to a private or small website that doesn't appear in popular security databases. Number three is you may have entered it incorrectly, or a typo or mistakes in the domain name can lead to no results. So number four, it's not a real domain. Some phishing emails use fake or random looking domains that don't actually exist. So what does it mean for your investigation? So if no result is found, it doesn't automatically mean the domain is safe. It just means there's not enough information available to judge it. So it's best to treat it with caution, especially if the email is still looks suspicious. So based on what we've seen so far, we're getting mixed results. For example, if one tool says a file is safe but another says it malicious, we still treat it as potentially harmful because we cannot ignore any warning. So we should always follow the most cautious interpretation, especially if a tool like VirusTotal or Zscaler flags something as a threat, even if only one of them does. So, so far in our ongoing investigation, the URL appears to give mixed results. One tool flagged it as malicious while another did not. So the file could not be analyzed due to the absence of the required file, and the domain is unknown as no result were found in the database, making it difficult to verify its trustworthiness.
That's the end of the demo investigation of the reported suspected phishing incident. Thank you for joining us in our virtual investigation session. This activity helped us practice real-world cybersecurity skills using multiple tools to evaluate suspicious emails. At this point, we are now open to any questions or clarifications you may have regarding our investigations. Please feel free to ask. Sige. What's your question, Mr. Itang?
My question is why we should not open the suspicion link directly in the browser.
Opening suspicious links directly in a browser can be very risky because the website may contain malware, spyware, or viruses that can automatically infect your computer or steal your personal information. Some malicious websites can even exploit vulnerabilities in your browser to gain control over your system. That's why we always use specialized security tools to safely check the links first without exposing our devices to harm.
So, thank you. I have another question. So, what are the tools used to check the URL? What are the tools to check if a URL is malicious?
In this investigation, we used the Zscaler and the VirusTotal. Both are online tools that analyzes URLs by comparing them against large databases of known malicious websites. They use multiple antiviruses, engines, and phishing databases to detect if a link is dangerous. These tools help us avoid clicking harmful links by letting us know in advance whether a URL has been flagged or suspicious or has an harmful activity.
Zuloscaler, right? And virus tool?
Yes.
Miss Odette. I have a last question. What is an MD5 and why it is important?
MD5 hash is like a digital fingerprint for a file. It is a unique sequence of characters generated by running the file through a cryptographic function. This fingerprint helps identify the exact file without needing to open it. When investigating a suspicious file, checking its MD5 hash against security databases tells us if that exact file has been reported as malicious before, allowing us to know if it's safe or dangerous without risking infection.
Thank you, Miss Monredondo. That's all my question.
How did we check if the file is malicious?
We took the MD5 hash of the file attached to the email and entered it into two tools, md5file.com or VirusTotal. These tools compare the hash to their databases of known malware and save files. If the hash matches a known harmful file, the tools flag it as malicious. In our case, both tools showed that the file was not found in any malicious file lists, indicating it is safe to open.
If one tool says something is safe and the other says it's dangerous, should we do?
When there are conflicting results, it's safest to assume the item is potentially dangerous. Cybersecurity tools may have different databases or detection methods, so one might catch a threat that others cannot. So avoid risk. We should go on the side of caution. Treat the suspicious item as malicious and avoid interacting with it until further analysis or expert advice confirms it's safe.
Um, what is our recommendation to user who receive suspicious emails?
We recommend that users never click links or open attachments from unknown or unexpected emails. Instead, they should use trusted security tools to verify the safety of the links and files before interacting with them. Additionally, users should report any suspicious emails to their IT departments or cybersecurity team promptly so the threat can be analyzed and mitigated. Education and awareness are the key to preventing phishing attacks.
Are there any other questions? If none, thank you for actively participating in the discussion. We hope this session gave you valuable insights into how phishing investigations are conducted using real cybersecurity tools. Thank you for your time and attention. This officially concludes our presentation.